Hi there, Rada. My name is Thomas Bateman. My postcode is CB6-1BQ. The first piece I'm going to perform is from Shakespeare's Hamlet, playing the role of Hamlet. The second is from Shakespeare's Henry V, playing the role of Prince Hal. And the third is from John Logan's Red, playing the role of Ken. I'll then sing a little bit of the song A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, can force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wand? Tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit. And all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears, cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metalled rascal, peak. Like John of Dreams, I'm pregnant with my course and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pater cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face. Tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie, the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Swans. For I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered, and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the regent heights with this slave's awful, bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh! Vengeance. Why, what an ass am I? Now, fie upon my false French. By mine honour, in true English, I love thee, Kate. By which honour I dare not swear thou lovest me, yet my blood begins to flatter me that thou dost, notwithstanding the poor and untempering effect of my visage. Now, beshrew my father's ambition. He was thinking of civil wars when he got me, therefore was I created with a stubborn outside, with an aspect of iron, that when I come to woo ladies, I fright them. But in faith, Kate, the elder I wax, the better I shall appear. My comfort is that old age, that ill layer up of beauty, can do no more spoil upon my face. Thou hast me, if thou hast me, at the worst, and thou shalt wear me, if thou shalt wear me, better and better. And therefore tell me, most fair Catherine, wilt thou have me? Put off your maiden blushes, avouch the thoughts of your heart with the looks of an empress. Take me by the hand and say, Harry of England, I am thine. Which word shall no sooner bless my name withal, but I shall tell thee aloud, England is thine, Ireland is thine, France is thine, and Henry Plantagenet is thine. Who, though I speak it before his face, if he be not fellow with the best king, thou shalt find the best king of good fellows. Come, your answer in a broken music, for thy voice is music, and thy English broken. Therefore, tell me, Catherine, queen of all, break thy mind to me in broken English. Wilt thou have me? I don't want to talk about it. They were murdered. I was 7. I honestly don't remember it too well either. I woke up, and the first thing I saw was the snow outside the window. I was glad it had snowed because it was Saturday and I could go sledding. My dad would take me sledding. But I didn't smell anything. That was weird. Normally my mum would be up making breakfast. It was really quiet. I put on my slippers. They were those near-light ones that look like moccasins. Go into the hall. Now it's really quiet. It's cold. There's a window open somewhere. And I see my sister. She's just standing in the hallway, staring into my parents' room. The door's open. My sister, she's standing in a puddle of pee, just staring. I go to the door and look in, and the first thing I see is the snow outside the window. So much snow. Maybe I'll go sledding. And then the blood. The bed is stained with it, and the wall, they are on the bed. It was a knife, I found out. Apparently it was a knife. Burglars, I found out, at least 2 of them, but right now I don't know what to do. I just see, and I don't want my sister to see any more. My little sister. I turn around and push her out and shut the door. The door handle with blood is red. That's all. When true lovers meet in Mayfair, so the legends tell, songbirds sing, winter turns to spring. Every winding street in Mayfair falls beneath a spell. I know such enchantments can be, 'cause it happened one evening to me. That certain night, the night we met, there was magic abroad in the air. There were angels dining at the Ritz, and a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. I know 'cause I was there that night in Berkeley Square. Hi there, so I'm Tom, and why did I choose these pieces? Well, with the 2 Shakespeares, I loved discovering the new little nuances that kept popping up every time I performed them, which is, I think, something that naturally happens with most Shakespeare, but allowing myself to recognise and play with these new things popping up, I hope adds a kind of freshness and living presence to the speeches. I approach the characters keeping in mind that whilst they're really famous and really studied characters, I could bring the ways in which I am youthfully still working things out as an 18-year-old and bring that to these characters, giving them a kind of youthful treatment. And rather than being put off by these characters' stature, I explored how leaning into who I am and the things I face can act as a kind of basis for presenting them truthfully as young men. With the John Logan play Red, well, I first discovered it in lockdown and I loved it because it fused 2 passions of mine, which is theatre and art. And I really enjoyed working on a challenge I found of trusting the words and allowing the text to help me with my performance. And with this, I worked on finding a sort of control over my expression, which admittedly often wants to be bigger than it needs to be. I discovered how even with a large moment and a dramatic theme of finding your dead parents, you can go small and subtle. I also just really love performing it because it has a kind of clarity and powerful episodic structure to the speech that creates strong images one at a time, which I think it's really useful as a performer for presenting these progressing clear images to your audience. My acting experience has mostly been through my school here in Ely. I've just finished being Warner in Legally Blonde the musical, which was really fun, but confirmed that I don't really want to do musical theatre professionally, as I find it kind of plateaus, whilst other kinds of theatre grow for me in rehearsals and performance, such as Medea, which we did a year before, which was an awesome experience. We did it in Traverse, which was a really interesting challenge because it was so intimate with the audience, which felt like quite a leap from the Zoom acting we attempted during the lockdowns. A key experience for me was being part of the original dystopian play we took to the Edinburgh Fringe. It was just a cast of around 10 of us, and we did 2 weeks of really intense rehearsals, devising and creating this mostly physical theatre show, and then took it up to Scotland. And I really learnt about ensemble and the work ethic needed to put on a show in a really short space of time in a tiny stage space. As the drama department prefect at school, I've really focused on getting more people sort of involved in the drama department throughout the school. For example, I've set up an acting technique club and a review club for plays. And what I've seen this do is bring in new faces and see others find their own interests and talents in the various theatre styles we play around with or review. I think my national theatre experiences over the past few years has really inspired my focus on creating more opportunities for a wider range of people at school to discover theatre. Music is a passion of mine. I grew up as a cathedral chorister here in Ely, which involved performing 6 times a week to audiences of hundreds to less than 5, but each time with the same professional expectation, which I think has really deeply affected who I am today. I've continued singing, for example, in a barbershop ensemble, which I now lead, and then solo singing work and solo trombone work, which I've done sort of all my life. If I didn't have music, I think I would really lack the comfort I have performing in front of an audience. There's a kind of unique emotional and physical aspect to music that I think has really developed my feel for acting. I also love cooking for my friends and family, though people often laugh because I tend to be a little imaginative and make quite an event of the whole thing, but it really hits my crowd-pleasing button. Something I'm a little bit shy to talk about is that in secret I've started writing plays, or at this stage bits of plays, but I really do lose myself in the writing process. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this self-tape. Thank you.